Dearest gentle readers, watchers, do I have a scandal for you? A new season of Bridgerton is upon us, and that means every ninny with an entertainment account is creating something Bridgerton related. This YouTuber can neither confirm nor deny allegations of already having watched the new season multiple times through, for the answer may shock you. However, she can attest that she is in fact one of the aforementioned ninnies. The new season's wardrobe choices swept this YouTuber off her little sewist feet and caused her to immediately search through her fabric stash to see if she could turn herself into a Bridgerton character with zero planning and zero trips to the store. Luckily for you, dear watcher, an unsuspecting curtain was located and will be the cause of today's hottest gossip around the ton. CaitMakes sporting yet another dress made positively on the cheap, with thrifted fabric and a free pattern of all things. Does the poor miss have no shame? Take it from me, dear watcher, she does not. So, stick around to watch the scandal unfold. Yours truly, Lady Not Whistledown. P.S. This is the last you will hear of this awful British accent.
Hello and welcome to my channel, CaitMakes, the channel where I make things. As you just heard, I am making a Bridgerton inspired dress today. Like many people in the world, and probably like you since you clicked on this video, I love the Bridgerton series. I absolutely binged the new season and can't wait for the next installment that's coming in a couple weeks. My favorite thing about the show is the ambiance. I really just want to be inside the show when I watch it. All of the decorations, all of the costumes, the flowers, everything about it is just like you're walking through a not so historically accurate Jane Austen dream, and I love it. Now, I think there are a lot of different ways you can go about making a Bridgerton inspired dress. For me, I am not going to be making a costume. I'm not going to be trying to replicate any of these dresses. I am trying to make a wearable, I can walk outside in 2024 and wear this kind of Bridgerton dress. So it's going to be inspired by the show. I think my other big inspiration will be like Selkie dresses. I'm sure you're familiar, but here are some examples. This kind of shape definitely coincides with how Bridgerton does their dresses, and just makes it a little bit more wearable, a little bit more modern. But yeah, trying to find a nice happy medium between Bridgerton style and Selkie style and my own style. That is what we're up to today. Let's get into the plan a little bit more. For this dress, I'm going to be using a free pattern, which I'm very excited about. Never mad about a free pattern. And this one is from Mood Society. All you have to do is give them your email address. You can always unsubscribe later if you want to. It is called the Bridgerton dress. It's absolutely made for this. I am going to make some tweaks. So for their version, they have this kind of double bubble sleeve. I am not going to be doing this middle part, but I am going to use the full length because I think I want a very voluptuous sleeve. Also in their pattern, they specifically have instructions to do a opaque underlayer and then a see-through top layer. Having that opaque layer and then a see-through layer over is definitely something they do a lot in the show. Here are some examples. I love it. I felt like it was especially prominent this season in a lot of my favorite dresses. That said, I'm trying to do this entire project for free, just with what I have on hand. I was watching the show, I immediately wanted to make the dress, so here we are. I'm making it immediately, and I just want to use what I have on hand. And since I'm going for a free method, I am going to be using a thrifted material also. If I have a clip of this when it is still a curtain, I will put it here. If not, this is the fabric. I thrifted this curtain a couple years ago probably. I just thought the material was beautiful and that someday I would find the right purpose for it. And today is that day. So this is the outer side, which is really beautiful, but definitely has more of that like tapestry curtain look. The inside is this very, very pretty, like silvery blue, very like Bridgerton kind of color that has that same design on it, but more subtle. So I've decided to use this silkier side. I just think it's really beautiful, and I also have this, which is a two-piece dress, is that more like tapestry look. It's kind of a similar color palette, so I don't think I want to make something quite that similar. So I'm going with this side, and I think it's very Bridgerton also. I don't have any see-through fabrics on hand. I do think that that would be beautiful, but I don't have it, so I am just going to be making it completely opaque instead. That is the plan for this dress. Very excited to get into it. I think that it's going to be a really quick make, honestly, and I hope you enjoy coming along on this journey with me and seeing how I turn this curtain into a Bridgerton Selkie inspired dress. Okay, so now that I have attached the lining to the outer fabric, I want to make sure that this white lining fabric never shows from the front and never flips forward. So I'm going to do some understitching, and to do that I'm going to be pushing the seam allowance towards the lining and sewing a straight line as close to that connection as possible, called stitching in the ditch. And yeah, this will just keep it from ever slipping forward and making sure that the lining stays on the inside. Just to get us caught up here, this is where I am currently at. Actually, only one of these sleeves is sewn in. I'm about to sew in the second one, but we are super close. The skirt for this should be pretty quick and easy, so I'm going to go ahead and sew the outer fabric sleeve together, which I have pinned here. Then we will basically have a completed top. I'm going to move on to the skirt next, and then I'll do the closure last, which I think I'm just going to do a zipper. And yeah, I am getting really excited to see how this is going to look as a finished product. I'm still really toying with whether or not I want it to have a gathered skirt or if I want it to be a little more sleek. Since in the show they don't do gathered as much, it is more of a loose fitted straight skirt that they usually attach to this. As I mentioned, I am hoping that it is wearable. So the gathered skirt might give it a little more of a modern touch, a little bit more of a Selkie vibe rather than just straight Bridgerton. So we'll see. I think I'll have a better idea once this other sleeve is sewn on and I can really put it on and kind of tack the skirt on for a second and see how it looks. So we'll see what I end up doing with the skirt, but that is where we are at. Let's get this second sleeve sewn on. It is really looking like a finished dress at this point. I have the zipper in and the fit is okay. I will say it's a little tight through the chest. I haven't made this pattern before and I went off my measurements. So I will say that the fit is very Bridgerton. It does give you what Bridgerton dresses do. But yeah, I maybe could have sized up one on the bust and then I probably would have had to take it in some places, but these are just the struggles with doing things quickly and not doing a tester. So still wearable, but yeah, it gives me a little extra something than I would prefer to have, I think. but yeah, it is very on theme. So anyway, we are super close. This video has just had every possible like technical malfunction that I possibly could have had. Multiple clips that I took last night only ended up being 1 second long because apparently my memory card was full, but it still would let me hit the record button and seemed to be recording, but it didn't. So the only other thing we have left to do is I am going to walk you through how I did this finishing for the sleeve. It's not too complicated. It should look better once I actually press it. But yeah, I'll just show you kind of how I close this off. This is my first time ending a sleeve like this, so I was kind of winging it, but I do like the end result. I'm going to show you what I did on the other one and walk you through, and then we are finally done with this dress. It is definitely a like Bridgerton slash Selkie look, I will say, just because of the length. I only had the one curtain to work with and it just isn't that much fabric. I could not make it a full length dress. I did cut off some of the length. It ended up being a very like awkward, not quite T-length, not quite short. I kind of just had to go fully short because like I definitely would not have worn it at that length in any other occasion. It either needed to be long or short for me to like find a way to wear it in some scenario in my life. These scenarios being like maybe a wedding, maybe a museum day, I don't know, some day when I just want to be like a little bit extra, some sort of girly trip where, you know, the girlfriends will appreciate that I'm just walking around like Bridgerton character. We'll see what opportunity arises for this dress in everyday life. Now I can go ahead and finish off the second sleeve and finish this dress. So, how I decided to do this was I just gathered the bottom of the sleeve and then I made myself some double fold bias tape, just DIY'd it from some spare bits of the fabric that I had left. So for that, you just fold it in towards itself, iron it flat, then I folded it in half again and ironed. It will basically just wrap around the raw edges of the sleeve and I'm just bringing it all the way around. I'll pin it a bunch. It will have that final seam just at the edges. Previously when I've done puff sleeves, it's either been an elastic that holds it, which is really the easiest way, or I've also had them tie. So there are many ways you can finish off a puff sleeve, but this seems to be the most Bridgerton way. It's a little more vintage than using elastic and a little more on theme than having ties. Adding the bows is always cute, but it doesn't really go with their dresses. So sticking with this method, and now I'm just going to meticulously pin it around the entire sleeve hole. As you just saw, this is my final result for my wearable Bridgerton Selkie inspired dress. I hope that you enjoyed coming along in this process with me. This video is delayed for my regular watchers. I had so many technical issues. I don't even want to bore you with it, but truly everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Anyway, know that I will be posting next weekend and that the schedule will resume as usual. If you're new around here, I post most Saturdays, so please stay tuned for that to see what I make next. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if you think it's wearable. I definitely think that making it short and giving it that really like Selkie inspired look made it so that I could wear a Bridgerton dress in 2024 and still feel totally comfortable. As you saw in my clips, I kind of styled it to have a little bit more of an edge with the black and the tights and everything, and I think that that helps a lot. But I'm excited to see the different ways that I can style it and still feel like it's a modern dress, but that you can still tell what it was inspired by. I'm really enjoying making things that definitely have a nod towards my favorite books or my favorite shows, but that are still wearable and not a costume and aren't going to sit, you know, rotting away in my closet and will actually be worn. I think I definitely accomplished that on this one. That being said, it's definitely not a dress I will be wearing a ton. It's not an everyday kind of dress, but with the right styling, it's definitely wearable for, you know, certain outings and occasions. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I so appreciate you spending your time with me, and I will see you next weekend. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.